Hey guys, I gave you an assignment yesterday to work on, but unfortunately nobody got it done. That was really disappointing. But that's what Virtual Wednesday is for. Well, not always, but today I'm going to give you one more chance to get that done so we can move forward in our course for the year. This was the article I gave you to read about Til Gurung, a speech she gave a few years ago. Let me share my screen with you so you can see what I'm talking about. And this is under week 9. I gave it to you on Tuesday. Again, I don't see anybody turned it in. So let's take a peek at it. I'm afraid my internet is also a little sketchy right now. So it should be there and you should be able to find it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the article out loud to you, walk through the assignment details, and give you a chance to do it with that extra level of support with the video that you're watching right now. So first of all, the directions. I want you to read this speech by Til Gurung once. Read it for gist to get the idea. We've talked a lot about what reading for gist does. You can kind of put the paragraph idea in your own words, but just read it through once, read it through to understand. And then we have questions at the bottom of the speech that you can look at and then answer those questions. And but before you answer the questions, of course, you want to reread the text with the questions in mind. Look for the strongest evidence. So write out your answers using specific evidence from the text to support your thinking. Let's read this together. This is a speech that a student named Til Gurung gave in 2010 to the World of Difference benefit luncheon at the City Club. Refugees Transitions. This is the organization that hosted the luncheon. So let's read this together. Good afternoon. My name is Til Gurung. I am a community navigator intern with Refugee Transitions, where I help my community access important services and make a successful transition into their lives in the United States. For example, I help explain important documents and laws to my community members, help interpret at parent-teacher conferences and medical appointments, teach them about home safety, where to find our cultural foods in Oakland, how to use the bus, and how to drive. I am a refugee from Bhutan. My community is Bhutanese, but we have a Nepali heritage and culture. Though we lived peacefully in Bhutan for many years, as our community grew, the Bhutanese government began to feel threatened. Thus, they initiated an ethnic cleansing program to force us from our homes. We suffered in our country, Bhutan, because we did not speak the language or practice the religion or culture of the royal family. Many of us were tortured and imprisoned. We had no choice but to flee to Nepal to save our lives. After 20 years in a Nepali refugee camps, we saw that there was no possibility of returning home. So we opted to apply for resettlement to the United States, hoping that we could begin our lives again. But here in the United States, my community continues to struggle. We arrived in the U.S. when the economy was at its lowest point, so we struggle to find jobs. Many of us do not speak English, and lack of education makes it even more difficult for us to learn the language here. Just this year, the adult education system in Oakland shut down. Refugee Transitions offers classes and tutoring in its place for people who have nowhere else to go. By providing this language training and other support services through the community navigators like myself, Refugee Transitions is filling a real need in our community. As an example of the difference that tutoring makes in a person's life, I can talk about my wife. When we first arrived, my wife wasn't able to understand any English. Just taking the bus and going to the store was a challenge for her. Refugee Transitions assisted Mari to tutor my wife. After a year of tutoring, these things are no longer a big problem for her. Now she has more confidence and more language skills to help herself and our family. Thank you, Mari. Thank you, Refugee Transitions. And thank you to all of you who support Refugee Transitions to make these programs possible. Please continue to extend your support so that you can bring happiness to more families like mine. So that's the speech given by a man named Til Gurung, and I want you to then go down here. We'll spend a good bit of time working on this even after you get back tomorrow in person. So in the chart below, I want you to do this. Identify what Gurung's life was like before and after arriving in the United States using the strongest evidence from the text. So you're going to summarize a little gist here. what was his life like before, and then give the evidence. And then what was his life like after they moved to the United States, and then give the strongest evidence. So what do I need here? I need a statement of what his life like was before, a summary with 2 quotes from the text. Then after, I need a summary statement about how his life was like after he moved to the United States with the strongest evidence, at least 2 quotes from the text. 2 quotes from before, 2 quotes from after, and a summary statement for before, a summary statement for after. That'll be 6 sentences minimum, because I want 2 quotes for before, 2 quotes for after, and then a summary statement for each. So you're going to want to go back through, reread it yourself, spend a good bit of time working on it, and I'll look forward to seeing what you guys did tomorrow when we go through it together. Thanks for tuning in, guys.